Remember those screaming headlines in the Western media that brave Ukrainian pilots destroyed Russia's air superiority? Those brave Ukrainian fighters also included Goat of Kiev and Ghost of Kiev, although they were found to be comic book characters later on. But Ukraine's air superiority reigned supreme in Western press. Now, Army General Christopher G. Cavoli, head of the US European Command and NATO's supreme allied commander, has given a statement that basically finishes off Ukraine's propaganda. We will tell you all about it. Before that, if you're a fan of non-corporate monetary news and analysis, you've landed on the right YouTube channel. Okay, let's begin. On April 10th, Army General Christopher G. Cavoli, head of the US European Command and NATO's Supreme Allied Commander, briefed the House Armed Services Committee on the Russian military status amid the ongoing Ukraine conflict, now in its third year. General Cavoli highlighted that the Russian Air Force has maintained much of its strength, with minimal losses in its strategic aviation fleets, as reported by Air and Space Forces magazine. He noted that while the Air Force has lost about 10% of its aircraft, there have been no reduction in capabilities across Russian forces, including cyber and space operations. General Cavoli also acknowledged some human and material toll on Russia. He detailed how Moscow continues to support its military engagements, notably through acquiring ballistic missiles from North Korea and drones from Iran, but producing most of them indigenously, aiding in the sustainment of its operations. Moreover, Cavoli described the Russian military's operational strategy of conducting intermittent large-scale attacks which coincide with their production cycles. They produce, they save up, they launch a big attack. End of quote. He stated, summarizing their approach to maximizing their strike capabilities. He also noted a tactical shift in Russian aircraft operations, initially facing challenges from Allied air defenses. Russian warplanes have increasingly relied on standoff weaponry and have adapted their flight patterns to avoid areas well covered by defensive systems supplied by Western allies. By the close of February, marking 2 years since the invasion began, the Ukrainian military reported the destruction of 342 Russian planes and 325 helicopters. These figures could not be independently verified. Between mid-February and early March alone, Ukrainian forces claimed to have downed approximately 24 Russian fighter jets, including several Su-34 Fullback bombers, known for their use of guided munitions. Again, they were never mentioned by Cavoli. In a recent escalation of the ongoing conflict, Ukrainian Air Force Commander Mykola Oleshchuk celebrated significant operational successes against Russian aerial forces, highlighting the shootdown of 2 Sukhoi 34 bombers. Commander Oleshchuk suggested that the frequency and effectiveness of Ukrainian air defense might prompt a strategic reevaluation by Russian forces. His comments were again unverified. Ukrainian military spokesperson Yuri Inat conveyed that enhanced capabilities now allow Ukrainian forces to target and destroy Russian aircraft over considerable distances. This advancement has been attributed in part to the deployment of Patriot missile defense systems, which have been positioned nearer to the front lines to improve their efficacy against Russian jets. Justin Bronk, a senior research fellow at the British think tank RUSI, noted this tactical shift and acknowledged its risks and rewards. Furthermore, Ukrainian forces claim to have extended their reach beyond direct confrontations, claiming successful attacks on Russian jets and bombers stationed on airfields inside Russia itself. These claims were never validated. Otherwise, they would have been a significant blow to Russian air capabilities. Last week, when Ukrainian drones reportedly targeted multiple locations in Western Russia, including an airbase that housed a squadron of Sukhoi fighters. According to Ukrainian media, 4 airfields were targeted: Engels, Morzovsk, Yevsk, and Kursk. These strikes reportedly resulted in the destruction of many planes at Morozovsk and significant damage to military assets at Yevsk and Engels. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, in Washington, D.C., commented on the impact of these attacks, noting that these claims are unverified But if verified, they will mark the potential loss of approximately 5% of Russia's Tu bomber fleet in a single strike and would be particularly consequential. I destroyed 5 HIMARS rocket launchers last night. I ate a British Storm Shadow missile whole. Then I woke up. Wonder why Ukraine never wakes up. But this time they will, because they aren't against Russia or any other nation. They are against an army of the unknown. Watch this report to know more.